right, another episode of From the Music Store with your host that you're hearing this song sung about, Jason.
And Jeremy.
Yes. We hired a hit group of musicians in Los Angeles to produce our song. They recorded it with a Grammy Award-winning producer, sent us multiple copies back and forth. We finally settled on one that we thought sounded good, and this is it. Here we go! Yeah! From big city to the town, they will never let you down. We're never letting our listeners down, are we, Jeremy?
I don't know. I make no promises.
Yeah. Okay. What do you think, guys? We have a theme song. It's kind of hip, right? Jeremy's like rolling over. He's gonna smash his head against the wall. Yeah, that's our theme song. One of them. We might have a new theme song every week. Ooh,
that was supposed to be our goal.
That was supposed to be our goal. We were supposed to be actually doing real music.
Yep, every week.
Yeah,
and we did. We actually spent a lot of hard work on quite a few of them, actually, when we first started.
Yeah, we should do that again. It's usually, a lot of those came out when we had some, like, funny ideas, and then we, like, subsequently made a song based off of that. And actually, you were supposed to give us a better recorded version of your Kittens song.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
I'm still waiting for, like, a good version of Kittens.
Yep.
Well, in case you couldn't tell by listening, that theme song was generated by AI. It's really, despite what you want to say about it, the actual audio quality has made some pretty big increases recently. Like, I think when we first played around with that, remember, like, was like the 80s Casio song, and you were doing, I did the Casio song, and you did your kitten one?
Yeah.
This is a different website, but just the actual quality has improved a lot. I guess it's one of those things, like, once they start moving, they move fast. We had a blast having AI create songs about different guys that worked here the other day. So I think Jeremy and I agree that the main usage around here at the music store for AI music generators is for purely comedic function at this point.
Yeah, just like a good time travel movie. I don't like serious time travel, but you make it comedic, I'm there for it.
So is there
comedic AI?
Serious time travel?
Oh yeah, sure.
Who made a serious time travel? They made that did the H.G. Wells movie with that British actor.
Yeah.
At the very end, he ended up basically with, like, the weird apes in the, like, 50,000 years in the future or something like that.
What was that one movie with Christopher Reeves? A Place in
Out of
Time?
Out of Time, I think.
Out of Time.
That actually has a somewhere in time.
Somewhere in time. That's it.
If I'm not mistaken, that had a pretty good. I'm gonna have to pull this up on the interwebs. Didn't that have a famous hit? The theme, that Somewhere in Time, movie theme was like.
And the movie takes place like what, in the 1800s? He goes back to the 1800s or something like that.
I mean, yeah. It's a love movie.
Yeah. But it's a serious movie.
Okay, yeah. But what's not as serious?
Back to the Future. Best comedic time travel movie. Ninja Turtles 3.
Hey, did I hear that somebody is doing, are they redoing Back to the Future with somebody else?
I don't know about that, but I know it's going to be on, or is on Broadway.
That's just dumb. There's certain things you don't need to make a musical, and I mean, really?
Yeah, I know. I agree with you.
I'm not. They're like, it's a movie, and there's some music scenes. He plays a guitar, and that would be great on Broadway. So we should do that.
Yeah,
because we have no more original ideas. I bet you AI could come up with a better musical theater piece than just redoing Back to the Future.
Oh yeah, that's terrible. That's a terrible idea.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the only thing I don't know. It could be fantastic. I don't want to say how bad it could be, but I bet it's a spectacle. I bet there's probably a lot of visual effects that they probably do, I would assume. Maybe. I don't know.
I guess.
I've never seen it.
Hey, you know what? Musical theater, I saw, it must have been 5-6 years ago, I saw the King Kong one, where they had the huge King Kong puppet on stage, and I think it took like 6 people to make that thing move around. That was impressive. The songs were kind of whatever. The show was like, it's King Kong, everybody knows it, right? But to see it on the stage, and they had this one part where like the actual like King Kong thing came out over like the first 10 rows, and we were sitting like right up front. It was pretty neat.
Every once in a while, I'm reminded that I think at times I live under a rock. And this is one of those moments that makes me happy to be under my rock. I did not know.
Is it a boulder?
There was a King Kong musical.
Really? I thought you were Mr. Broadway.
No, I'm the antithesis of Mr. Broadway.
Oh.
I'm the guy who's... Yeah, that's not me. That's really funny. A King Kong musical.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, I guess, I mean...
It's old news, I guess.
Yeah. It's... So... Here's a music article I came across, and it ties back into the AI thing that kind of really pissed me off. Definitely in the I'm getting older and crazy department, for some reason my phone thinks and I'm interested in learning about side hustles, right? And side hustles have become such a thing in our society where, like, I'm reading all of these articles about other jobs that people have that they think is great because they make all this money every month. But it's really like, if our society is sort of broken, if you have to have a side hustle just to, like, get by.
Well, a long time ago, side hustles were always like, I have this thing that I do, maybe I have a degree in it, or maybe it's my main job, but my side hustle is my passion, or my I put a lot of my heart and soul in it. Now it's
so like you're gigging in your cover band, but you're really like a strucstructal engineer by day.
It can be anything, like, whatever. There are tons of people who like I work in finance, but I'm also like, my side hustle is I repair vintage furniture. I don't know, whatever it could be. But now side hustle is like, oh yeah, and I'm not saying this is a bad thing. My side hustle is I Instacart.
Right.
So
well, this one was...
People need money. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah. Well, this one was about how this was from the Telegram, which is this awful English website rag. But this was all about, like, how amazing and smart this woman was, that she used AI to do basically like lounge jazz background music. So she's like, well, all you have to do is go to, like, have an AI image background generator, and then you go to an AI website and you put the video and the music together, and then you upload it to YouTube, and you automatically make like $20,000 a month in royalties. And I'm like, there's just so many things that are wrong with this. But first, that it's like clickbait, appealing to people, like, well, if you just sort of use AI and all this, and you can quote unquote hack the system and make a ton of money, your life will be so wonderful. But it's kind of like, if everybody could just make like a decent living off their job, they wouldn't need a side hustle to do the AI thing. You know what I mean? And my tinfoil hat is telling me that the media is infiltrating our culture to make us think that it's cool to have side hustles, because a lot of people are struggling right now. Okay, comment.
I don't know that if the media is hyping up a side hustle. I also don't watch TV. I only read what I want to read, so I don't get infiltrated with too many things that I don't want to see or hear. However, a side hustle, I just think, is necessitated by your income, at least nowadays. It never used to be. Yeah. Like I said, it used to be a passion project.
Right. So you're saying it used to be my side hustle was I like playing the guitar, but now I need to make another $20,000 a month, so I'm going to use AI to fill up YouTube videos.
Well, if that's what you're going to do, whatever it used to be. But like, if the media is pushing AI to be your side hustle, that's a whole other thing, I suppose.
Yeah. So, one thing I forgot to tell you. So I was, Brad, who works with us, we were playing the. Should turn off my ringer. The theme songs and farting around. So then I was thinking about, like, I better read, like, the details on this, right? I'd be curious to see what you think about this. If you do not pay to be a subscriber to this website that we used, mm-hmm. the music that you generate, and by that I'm using, like, loosely generate by typing some words into a box.
Right.
You do not have the rights to use commercially. So technically, you could say, well, we couldn't just use that theme song we did. However, we're on nonprofit radio, and we've yet to see a penny on any of this, so it doesn't. I guess we're not commercial. But if you pay if you're a paying subscriber, when you create your AI music,
when AI creates your music,
when AI creates your music, you own the rights to it if you are a paying subscriber.
Huh.
which opens a huge can of worms. So what happens if AI had scraped like Duran Duran to get our theme song, right? And basically stole a Duran Duran song that we didn't know about, and that's what it modeled off of, and then says, gave us the rights, we own it, we use it for commercial purposes, but then we get sued by Duran Duran.
There's
right?
many different hats, or many different, it's like an onion, that question. A lot of layers. Well, one thing, first of all, is AI is already, I mean, imagine paying for a service that pulls from human creations that then you only get the rights to after you start paying for it.
To somebody who had nothing to do with the creation. Yeah. So about last year, when a buddy of mine was talking about AI and stuff, I said, and it was mostly focused at that point on imagery, right? Because that was like the first thing they could do kind of well. Music was still pretty bad. I was like, these tech companies don't own the rights to like Monet and all the greatest, Vermeer and all these artists. They scraped all that stuff, barfed it back to us, and make us pay them for it. It's like, no, you don't own that.
Well, who's smarter, right?
Yeah. Well, like in music-wise, like Sheryl Crow's been a vocal advocate about that, and a bunch of other artists are just kind of like, hey, like, wait a minute, what are you training these models on? And then so I got to thinking about this. I'm curious what you think. So let's say it's true that you said to all music AI companies, you guys cannot use any copyrighted music to train the system on. Now that would take us back to 1925 or 29. I forget. It's either 25 or 1925 or 29 is the cutoff for like when things go into the public domain. Mm-hmm. So by copyright law, to be legal with your AI modeling, everything would have to sound like Dixieland.
Right.
Hello, my darling. Hello, my David. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
That'd be great if all the AI came out and it was like basically Charlie Chaplin stuff, Because otherwise, where they get it from?
Yeah. I mean, everyone has to listen. The machine is moving. Hey, good on Sheryl Crow, right? She can be as vocal about it as she wants to be, but in the world we live in, with things that we have, such as, I should say the CEOs of companies that exist, such as Spotify.
Yeah. Well,
we already know where these people stand.
Yeah.
And we already know, it's like, hey, look, listen, you're making less and less and less and less and less, and you're going to keep on making less. Now, if you're already an established musician, or an established artist, I should say, this might not be such a problem for you, but if you're I'm going to say content creator, I won't say music, but if you're a content creator looking to capitalize on whatever it is you make, let's just say you create content and you hire musicians or hire one person that you work with to create something, this is where the problem lies. And we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
The bevy of music that you hear underneath shows that like were on the History Channel, like Pawn Stars and American Pickers, and something about the guy who used to build custom motorcycles. All that music was coming from people. And it'd be like, you record like a 1.5 minute track of like industrial sounding metal blues. Heavy guitars, it's got a really angular sound, but like there's like a bluesy undertone to the whole thing, and that's what gets put underneath of a dude who's chopping up metal while he's making a custom bike. Now they don't need to do that. And I remember trying to have my stuff published so I could do that. I took a training course, and I paid money for the training course to kind of learn as much as I could learn and glean from it. It was very, very helpful. This is somewhere around maybe right before I was married, somewhere around 2010, 2011. And I was like, oh, this is really useful. And then I hooked up with a friend who was doing a recording business as well as a live entertainment business. And we were going to do a publishing company. And we were doing music for video games. We had music on a couple of commercials here and there. And then that all went away. Yeah. All of it. I mean, it stopped, I don't want to say overnight, but it was like you could see it coming. Now it's full bore. But that's what I was trying to break into. I'm like, oh, well, I'm not going to say any monkey can do this, but I have the skills. If I can make a little bit of royalty money and have several different things get repurposed into different shows, plus there's all the it's all the syndication of those television shows.
Okay.
You could work a little bit.
All right. Well, so we had a little bit of a heated conversation before about this. So maybe I can flip an AI statement back at you that maybe you'll agree with. Okay. So if the AI thing and all that is going to take over, but you we're getting into doing music for video games and all that stuff. Maybe then you use your guitar playing things and you do I was telling you, you can play a lick or a riff and then upload it and then AI will generate this stuff. So you could sort of be okay, I know the keys, I know the vibe, I know the riff. I need to get paid and it's competitive, so you're not going to get paid as much, which means you need to work as efficiently as possible. You just play your guitar riff and say, hey, okay, AI, you do the rest. Are you okay with that? This is going to be a tough one because this is how maybe you could get paid and still be in that business.
Well, I think AI is going to replace all that now. It's just going to replace it. I mean, it can, and it's doing it.
Well, here's the thing. It for random stuff, yes, but one could make an argument that says, okay, here's a scene. We've got a guy and a girl, and they're by a pond or a lake, and they're going to kiss for the first time. And I really want something innocent and fun, and so you pull out your classical guitar and you come up with a motif, right? In fact, this is kind of like what a lot of the Hollywood composers do. They sort of Danny Elfman or whatever. He comes up with the motifs, but then a bunch of other guys slave around and fill it out. So you come up with that and you meet with the producer a little bit and be it's close. How about if you change this? So you're really working with the emotional content of the music, but then the rest of the stuff is details. You can't until you can feed AI a video and analyze the emotional content of this video,
which I think is probably going to be impossible.
That seems like a stretch, right?
Yeah.
All right, so maybe there is still room for somebody like you then.
Yeah. Well, because
you were AI is going to get us all.
No, what I mean is that kind of the thing that I just described, where it's kind of music that doesn't have any lyrics to it, that is only going to be used for, and it's going to get chopped up several times to fit in and out of different scene work on a particular show, and in the background of particular shows, especially with the boom of producer-driven reality TV, like those things you see on HGTV and Home Makeover. There has to be music, right? All that type stuff. That's work. I remember a friend of mine we were watching a movie, and I forget what movie it was. Was it Juno? Yeah. And the Jason Bateman's character is a musician, and he's like a jingle writer, and he and his wife are having problems, and she's yelling about something because he's working too much, and he goes, "What are you talking about? That jingle paid for that kitchen." Yeah. And it's that's work. That's work, and maybe not your, maybe not your kitchen, but that jingle paid for my groceries, or it pays my kids' tuition, whatever the case may be. But that's the thing I think is going to go away. Get us all. I mean, that's exactly what AI is looking to do, and that's a conversation for a different day. AI is looking to replace quite a few things in people's lives. Okay, so we're doing this real time. So you made a comment, sort of a blanket statement that you think AI was good for stuff vocally. You're like, for it's just a music bed. But I'm going to say that with our theme song and some other stuff, I think that AI is making strong inroads into vocal content. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So just to
do replacement voices.
Yeah, so we're doing this real time. I just put into the song engine a cappella song. Okay. So we're focused on the voice, about being murdered by a squirrel with a knife.
Oh, boy.
So me and my brother-in-law have this meme going back and forth that the chances of being murdered by a squirrel with a knife, however remote, are not zero. And there's a picture of a squirrel with a knife in his mouth in the tree or whatever.
They're not zero.
They're not zero.
It's not out of the realm of possibility.
It's very low probability.
It's got opposable thumbs.
Yes. So let's see what knife-wielding squirrel song sounds like that.
In the woods I took a walk. Peaceful day, no need for talk. Something moved, I turned my head.
It's not a cappella.
It's not a cappella.
Bushy tail and tiny paws.
This is what was Danny Elfman's song? It's a Dead Man's Party. That's where they got this from.
Yeah.
Squirrel with a knife. Squirrel with a knife.
No, okay. This is like if I don't want to make fun of these people, but this is like
do
if
it.
if
Do
if
it.
like a bunch of Swedes got together, like the people who did What Does the Fox Say? Aren't
yeah.
they Swedish?
Yes, I mean that's a big hit in my
To
house.
me, it's like there was a band called there's a documentary, Anvil, a metal band called Anvil.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you got to watch it.
Are they good?
It's sad and it's happy at the same time, and it's Anvil. They had a song called, I think it's called either is it Toe Hang or Thumb Hang? Thumb Hang.
Thumb Hang?
They were writing
I'm gonna
it.
try to find this.
Back in medieval times, like certain crimes were punishable by being hung, and you just suspended in the city center by your thumbs, and you were hung by your thumbs, kind of like being put into the stocks.
Oh, okay.
So that they
Oh
wrote,
yeah, here, Thumb Hang by Anvil.
but
Okay.
that's who should write being murdered by a squirrel with a knife. That's
Anvil? Okay.
Anvil.
All right.
In the style of Anvil, that's what you need.
This is like every stereotypical heavy metal.
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
This is like Spinal Tap. Like if I told you this was like the first song in Spinal Tap movie, you'd be like, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the hook? Let's find the hook. I like getting hung by your thumbnail. How does it go? The cross from hell. Is that what he said? All right.
Thumb hang.
They deserve to get hung by their thumbnails for writing that song.
So that's what I hear with being murdered by a squirrel with a knife. You know.
right, yeah, exactly. Okay, well, so truth be told, though, they do give you usually two chances with this. So
In the woods I took a walk.
this is like Oompa Loompa.
Yeah. Yes.
Do you think they ripped off Oompa Loompa?
Talk.
Oompa loompa doopa dee doo. I've got a squirrel with a knife for you.
Actually, the picture is great. He's got the knife in his mouth. This is going to be the episode artwork.
Yeah, that's actually a really good call right there. So there you go. That's a really good.
I mean, I think this is the Oompa Loompa song, isn't it?
You're right on it. Yeah, like
With a knife,
With a little Nirvana mixed in, right?
yeah.
with a knife.
Again, for me, it's all comedic purposes.
Yeah, comedic purposes. There you go. Like, hopefully AI knows that it's just fodder for our dumb humor.
So if fodder was like, fodder. If AI was like the dude at the party, right? Like there's musicians there. So like I'm there. I'm like the middleweight fat guy that plays either bluegrass or jazz because I can still gig and be kind of old and fat. And you're like, Mr. Clean Guy, Jeremy. I do the Buddy Holly story, right? Who is AI? Is he like just a total tool, like wearing some like
AI,
throwback, like what? Who
AI
what's
is
the
the
AI
guy-
personality at the party?
AI is the guy going, I could do that.
Right.
I could do it. It's like, yeah, but it's
But
not,
you never
it's not-
did.
It's not really it's not really genuine. It's not really genuine. I don't care. Gets me girls.
Yeah, right. Yeah, gets me girls.
I'm popular because of it. Look at me. I could take your thing. I could do it too.
How about we do a Dixieland song with clarinets and banjos?
There you go.
About what's the topic? Let's see.
Woodwind's hard to do.
Yeah. What's the topic? We have squirrels with knives already.
Oh man, seagulls with machetes.
Oh.
How about flying spiders?
Oh, flying. Everybody's afraid of spiders. About flying spiders from hell. Spiders actually do fly, though. They shoot their silk out. At least in my yard they do. And the wind catches them. And that was the whole thing with Charlotte's Web, right? Isn't that what happened to all the Charlotte's Web's little babies?
That's what babies do in general. That's how they kind of... Most of them do that. They shoot a little balloon out, and it just kind of takes them somewhere. It's like, I'm going to go start my
I'm
life.
going to start my life. Gonna eat some flies.
Right. One inevitably just smashes into a wall. The other one just gets picked off by some dragonfly.
Or they end up in my pool heater.
Right, exactly. They just...
Oh, you know what I found in my pool the other day? Turtle. A little baby turtle.
Yeah, that
He's in the
happens.
pool filter. Still alive.
Yeah,
Took him
good.
down to the bay and off he went. Spiders in the sky.
Ah, Lucy in the sky.
Oh, right. See? We're getting to the bottom of it. We're figuring
Yeah.
it out. All right, so before the show ends, hopefully it'll have time to finish our song here. Although this is taking longer than normal. I wonder if it's like we really...
We hit it with something.
We hit it with something, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh, banjo. We gotta dig deep.
Yeah.
Somewhere AI is like rummaging through a closet. Going to the bottom of the junk drawer. I know there's a banjo in here somewhere.
It's missing a string!
The spider is in the sky, yeah, he's flying high from heaven with a clarinet and banjo, casting the magic spell, creeping through the clouds, causing quite a fright, with legs as long as shadows, dancing in the night. Oh, those spiders in the sky, coming down from way up high, in a whirlwind of fire, can't escape their spidery eye. With their wings of flame, they descend from above, bringing chaos to the land. In the name of dark and love, in the moonlight they soar, spreading fear and more through the midnight air, fly without a care.
They kind of keep hitting on like flying from above, causing chaos.
Those chaos causing flying spiders.
Spiders in the sky, coming down from way up high.
Yeah, got the Aerosmith thing going on. Let's just keep repeating the chorus.
Yeah, over and over, yeah. It kind of reminds me of like almost like a Texas swing tune, though.
Yeah.
With their wings of flame, they descend from above.
Yeah, they just keep hitting you with the same.
Wings of fire,
Yeah.
can't escape their spidery eye.
Okay, all right. Okay. With that being said, you've been listening to another episode from the Music Store.
That's right.
Laughter filling up the air. Okay, we'll see you guys next week. Sundays at 6 p.m. on WB. No, shut up. Sundays at 6 on WBNJ. Spiders in the sky, ladies and gentlemen. I love the spiders in the sky.
Spiders in the sky, yeah, flying high from heaven.